What's good, everybody? So obviously by the title you can tell we're going to be talking about Boruto Part 2, aka Boruto Two Blue Vortex. And this chapter was pretty fire, I cannot lie. Albeit while not being perfect and left me with some questions, this chapter was really good and has me very excited for the future of Boruto Two Blue Vortex. Now first, let's get into these new time skip designs. Let's take a look at Boruto, Kawaki, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Code here. Looking great, I can't lie. I mean, there's a lot of belts going on here, but hey, looks good nonetheless. Now if I had to choose a favorite here, it'd probably have to be Boruto, to be honest. Anyways, let's get into the chapter. So it starts off with Sarada pleading to the new Hokage that was finally given to Shikamaru, which most people predicted, and Konohamaru is his apprentice. And she's pretty much telling Shikamaru that Boruto is innocent and will never do anything to Naruto since she's one of the only few that know the truth. Then she tells him that they gave her father a chance, so in turn they should give Boruto a chance, and she pretty much disrespects him as she walks out. And I really like this conversation with Shikamaru and Sarada, and I don't really have a problem with this at all, as there's a sense of hopelessness coming from Sarada, and I'm glad they're going into the effects of Ada's effect on the world. So we cut to the next part, and we see Naruto and Hinata as before in the last chapter, but now we see Kawaki and his new fed here looking clean. And then we cut to Sarada talking to Sumire and brings up that Ada's effect took a while before everyone became completely brainwashed. And so that's something we didn't really know before. That's something interesting to think about, and maybe they'll touch on that some more in the future. Then we go on to see Ada and Daemon, who haven't aged at all seemingly due to their backgrounds, and she says she finally is understanding more about her ability, referring to obviously the omnipotent spell that she put on everyone. And she notes that the ability realizes the person's wish and turns it into reality. And so the specifics were Boruto and Kawaki's memories to everyone were swapped, and so is their positions. And so she basically goes on to say that she doesn't know how to change it back, and if they told everyone that they were under manipulation, who would honestly believe them? And she basically tells them to give up. So she finally goes on to ask them why they aren't affected if they aren't Otsutsuki, and says that her charm or omnipotence won't work on them or Daemon, who also shares her bloodline. Once again, I like this, and this seemingly be what the goal of the plot will be, in that obviously trying to reverse Ada's spells / manipulation or whatever you want to call it. And so I think it's interesting that even she doesn't know how to reverse it apparently, or she could be lying, so it's going to be interesting how they figure that out in the future. So then we get to see my guy Mitsuki looking fire as well with Kawaki and talking about how to track Boruto and that Mitsuki will protect him no matter what. Then it would seem they'll notice some signs that Code had arrived. Then in this panel, it would look like Mitsuki could be questioning Kawaki in this panel, which is very interesting, as if they're going to make Mitsuki one of the people that is kind of not affected by Ada's spell. I hope it would take at least a while for him to come around, as I don't want too many people unaffected by it. Well, at least the ones we care about, at least, as it just adds some more intrigue to the story and more tension as well. Next, we get some panels of Himawari honing her shinobi skills and Aspar looking pretty cool. Then she goes on to say she wants to help Boruto and that the image of Boruto she sees in her head is different from everyone else's. And she also expects Naruto being alive somewhere. Then we see Kawaki and some new shinobi discussing why Code hasn't actually attacked the village yet. So then Kawaki would go on to notice that one of Code's claw marks is actually on one of these shinobi, and this would insinuate that there is a possibility there are more people in the village with these claw marks as well. So Code is now an immediate threat, and they would be correct, as his attack would begin and his army would start forming out of people's bodies, causing people in the village to start panicking. Honestly, this is a pretty dope way to enter the village. Then we see Kawaki and Sarada begin attacking Code's army. Code then emerges from one of them, and hey man, I can't lie, this is one of the coldest things that Code has ever done. I gotta give him his credit for this. Like the way he just pops up, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Then he goes on to threaten Sarada, and then my goodness, this man Boruto pulls up on demon time on Code and steps across this man's face, looking down upon him. I mean, this is a tragic, horrible look for Code after that entrance he just made. And as for Boruto, this was a pretty amazing moment, I can't lie. Then Shikamaru goes on to order every single combatant to go down there. Then the closing shot of this chapter, we have a stare down with Boruto, Kawaki, and Code as a great way to end off this chapter. And that's it. After years of waiting for the time skip, it's finally in motion. I can say they delivered well in this chapter. Obviously, it's not perfect, as I know someone will say I'm way too positive about this chapter, but I genuinely enjoy it. Overall, I'd give this chapter around an 8.5 on the lower side. I will be keeping up with this consistently. I don't know if I'll be making a regular review like this every time a chapter rolls around, but I'll probably make more videos on more specific topics. Anyways, let me know what y'all think of the chapter. Peace.